doing a fair? Oh. What's next? Yes, you do. Oh, okay. Of course, it's action for a drop. Yeah. Yes, I can, yeah. Correct. Hi, good morning. Thanks for setting that out, because this £150 billion of extra investment over the next decade is a really major package of investment. It's a real vote of confidence in the British economy and in our country. But you're right to ask the question, what does that mean for people in their day-to-day lives? And let me give you one example of where some of this money is going to be invested. There's a US company called X Energy. They're going to be working with Centrica, who own British Gas, and they're going to be investing to build up to 12 advanced modular reactors. That's like small nuclear power stations near Hartlepool. And that's a really important part of creating new nuclear energy in the UK. These 12 advanced modular reactors manufacturing, energy for 1.5 million new homes, 2,500 jobs will go into the manufacturing and the setting up of these new reactors, and it will add billions to the economy. So that's a kind of example where we talk about big numbers, and it's really important to emphasise the sheer scale of this package and what a big vote of confidence is in the British economy. But what it really means to people's lives is more jobs, cheaper energy, and making people better off. I would say that we know that a lot of families across the country are finding it tough when it comes to the cost of living. And so what we're doing is focusing on everything we can do to bring costs down and to put more money in people's pockets. So we're doing some actions now, so increasing the national living wage, for instance, extending the bus fare cap, the £3 bus fare cap, extending free school meals to more children in schools. You know, all of that helps to do that much more right now or in the coming months and years. But at the same time, we also need to make sure we're putting the economy on a better track in the medium and long term. We need to make sure we're moving the country in the right direction, building an economy that rewards hard work and makes people better off. So you're absolutely right that we need to do stuff now, and that's why our increase in national living wage and the extension of the bus cap fare that I mentioned is so important. But at the same time, it's also crucial that we grow our economy, and that's why what the Chancellor Rachel Reeves has been saying from day one in office: economic stability, economic growth, investment is what we need to get our country in a better place. And that's what the £150 billion investment that we're speaking about today is so crucial to delivering. Sorry, can I just jump in? Can I just jump in there? Sorry, can I just jump in there? Sorry, can I just jump in there? Because in the first half of this year, we were the fastest growing economy in the G7. Now, do we want to grow more? Yes, of course we do. Yes, of course we do. But look at what we're doing to get the economy in a better place. Because it's not just about stabilising the public finances. That is absolutely crucial. That's the bedrock for which we can produce investment and put money into public services and get our economy in a better place. It's also about reforming the way the country works. So over the last year, we've been overhauling the planning system. The planning system which stands in the way of so much development and growth in this country. We're making it easier to build homes and infrastructure, and we know that the changes we've made to the planning system will not only boost the number of homes that we're building, but will also increase the size of the economy and put more money in people's pockets. Let me give your viewers the strongest encouragement or reassurance that I can. And what I'll say is that the Chancellor has been speaking since she got into office about the importance of her fiscal rules. Now, fiscal rules might sound abstract, and people might question, well, what relationship does fiscal rules have to me in my life? But actually, fiscal rules are how you keep a tight grip on public spending. And having that tight grip on public spending is crucial to bringing down inflation and bringing down the cost of borrowing. And that's what we're doing. That's why we're taking the decisions that we are taking. That's why strong public finances are so important, is because it helps to bring down inflation and bring down the cost of borrowing, making a real difference in people's lives. put a timetable on it right now because we're focused every day. Because we're focused. No, because we're focused. Yeah, but we're focused every day, and as our Chancellor and all of us in the Treasury and across government, getting inflation down. And look, the Chancellor has spoken to all of her cabinet colleagues and said, look, everyone in the government needs to focus on getting inflation down, and that's why the whole government, not just the Chancellor doing it through the Treasury, as crucial as that role is, it's also all of our cabinet colleagues. We all need to play a part in getting inflation down. We know that inflation is making it's having an impact on families across the country. We know that a lot of families are finding life tough, and that's why every day in government we're focused on getting those costs down and putting more money in people's pockets. It's intensely frustrating, these last-minute attempts to frustrate the deportations from going ahead. We've got people detained, ready to be deported, and we want them to be deported imminently. Now, you asked if we're challenging what's happened in the last couple of days. Absolutely. The Home Secretary made very clear that she will fight every step of the way, and she will stand up for the British public's interests in court. Because she's determined, as we all are in government, for these deportations to go ahead. It's very frustrating these last-minute, vexatious attempts to stop it from going ahead. Because you can know from the Home Secretary, how determined she is, on behalf of all of us as government, to make sure that these deportations go ahead imminently. And that's why she's standing up for the British people and fighting this every step of the way. So what I mean by that? Yeah, so what I mean by that is people who've been detained pending them being deported, and so they're being detained. So we know there are people there who we want to get on those flights as quickly as possible. We want to go ahead imminently. As I said, there's been this legal process in the last couple of days, which is intensely frustrating. It's really frustrating for all of us in government because we want to get on with implementing this deal, and that's why the Home Secretary has been clear on behalf of the government that she's challenging this, fight this, and every step of the way to make sure that these flights go ahead. Thanks so much. Hello? Yes. Hello. Oh, yeah. Vehicle back to the Yes, I can, yeah. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Hi, good morning, Nick. Well, as you know, Lord Manderson moved from his position on PX or the evidence that he did last week. But the deal today, the investment we're announcing today, £150 billion then. This is a seriously big package of investment. This is a real boost of confidence in our economy. And it's a fantastic deal to announce. It's a fantastic set of investments right across the country. Can I talk a bit about some of the investments that we're going to make? Well, as I said, he was removed from the position last week, and I don't know any further details beyond that. Well, it's a deal which is being announced today, a deal which has been signed this week. The Prime Minister is signing the tech partnership. We're announcing all this investment, the deal around nuclear energy. There's a huge number of aspects to the deal which is being announced today, the partnership between the US and the UK. But as I said, the issue with Lord Manderson was dealt with last week. So I don't know. I haven't been in the rooms as these deals have been constructed. I'm seeing what the benefit for the British people is of these deals, and I'm seeing what the benefit is going to be in terms of investment across the. Can I give you an example, Nick, of some of the investment we're talking about? Yeah. Okay. So, for instance, there's a US company called X Energy. They're going to be working with Centrica, who are British Gas, and they're going to be investing in up to 12 advanced modular reactors. That's the small nuclear power reactors. Now that's going to be near Hartlepool, is where they're going to be made. This is going to produce enough energy for 1.5 million new homes, 2,500 jobs, billions of pounds added to the economy. That's the kind of investment we're talking about. There's a lot more investment in the 150 billion, but I just think that's a good example to bring home to people. What does this really mean? When we talk about these huge numbers, it's obviously a huge vote of confidence in the economy. People want to know what it means for them. So when we're talking about investment in different parts of the country, Hartlepool, that I just mentioned, when we're talking about energy, we're talking about jobs, we're talking about a better economy, that's what this really means for people in Britain. So look, some of this will happen almost immediately, and the rest will happen over the next 10 years. So this is obviously a really big chunk of money, a really big amount of investment, £150 billion. Some of it will happen very, very soon, but some projects that are ready to go. Others are longer term investments over the next 10 years. Well, what we've done as a government is made sure that we are fighting for the British national interest at every turn. And what the Prime Minister has done with Trump is built on the long-lasting, special, strong relationship between our two countries to get a deal to make sure we're getting more investment from the US and into the UK. That is about championing the British national interest and getting the best deal for the British people. And it's for all of our benefits because we've got more jobs and investment here and it makes people better off. Well, look, we accept where we are in terms of
Yeah.
Well, what he was right about is that we use a lot more energy in this country to support a lot of new technologies as well as liquid industrial processes and, of course, foundation households. Now, one of the things that we've spoken about is the advanced modular reactors, the small nuclear power reactors, and that's those 12 power reactors I spoke about that use energy from 1.5 million tons. And part of what we're announcing with the US is a deal around accelerating nuclear energy. So nuclear energy is a really important part of the mix for making sure that we're energy independent and bringing down bills in the long run. And what the deal does is if put in place maybe some concrete example, what it means is if a particular technology has passed rigorous safety standards in the US, it's being approved in the UK to happen more quickly. So that means that it speeds it up. Because we've got this partnership, we can speed things up and we can get more affordable, more secure, more independent energy for people and businesses across Britain. Well, our energy approach is focused on nuclear, wind energy, solar energy. We're not planning to increase our reliance on fossil fuels. Part of what we're doing is moving away.
Hello, Brendan. Yes, I can.
Well, that's not our intention, but our plan is to move to renewable and independent energy sources.
Lovely, thank you.
No, but I accept it's intensely frustrating, and there is no one more frustrated than us in government. Siobhan and the Home Secretary has expressed their frustration very clearly, and she said, look, we're not going to let these vexatious last-minute attempts to frustrate our deal
4, 5, 6, 7.
Deportation to happen imminently. The Home Secretary is going to be fighting these challenges every step of the way, standing up for the British public in court, because we want this deal to go ahead. We want these deportations to happen imminently.
Fan is not going to cut his hair.
Yeah, I've seen him on what is until they've won 3 games in a row? 5 games. Oh, that's literally last minute. That's it. 3 man at my time. It's never going to work. Liverpool. Yeah. You're so jealous. Including last night. How about you? They're on the app. I'm owned by Disney. Yes.
This deal, we're not going to be frustrated.
Really?
Do you think I should put the microphone literally straight on? Oh, of course, you're not. So this is not being used at all.
Just holding
No.
the
Hello, can you hear me okay? We've changed the mic. Let's see if it's better.
That's shocking to say. I don't know the detail.
All right, teaser's the same, I'm assuming.
Yeah, of course that's it. Yeah, I mean, playing okay this season. We keep playing like this. We're actually going to draw or lose some games soon.
Yeah, you're right. I'm hearing the story for the first time, but of course, really crucial is to make sure that we have an asylum system which is secure.
It's higher. The camera higher? Brilliant, thank you. Thank you. Well, I thanks, but thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, there you go. They lost in the league.
Apart from certain angles. Sorry. Remember what? Sorry?
QR code.
I will do my best.
So I actually think it's
Yeah, they're not rubbish against Arsenal. They're not rubbish against Arsenal as well, Boris.
But they introduced the relationship with this organisation and something with this government and has been involved with. That's my understanding of that. All of the, you're talking about advice being given out by this charity, and my understanding that advice is not being given out under this government. It's a thing the previous government was involved in. I think they, I don't know if it's something they're trying to be back on, but they might also be called maybe they got it. Maybe they weren't aware of it. Maybe they were not much delivering.
Thanks.
Triple lock is in our, we say to Parliament, triple lock is protected with us, and you see that decision was taken already. Great, thank you. Cheers, thanks a lot. Cheers, thank you.
From pomp to politics, the Donald Trump has been put in the best possible mood by that incredible greeting from the royal family. Will it help to get us a better deal, perhaps on steel? And how is that press conference going to go when there's potentially some very tricky questions coming their way?
So Keir Starmer will welcome President Trump here to Chequers as yesterday's royal bonanza gives way to talks on trade and foreign policy.
Than your average Premier League footballers.
Oh yeah, I see, yeah. Probably a bit classier.
Beckham Palace.
Hello. Yeah. Sounds great. Thanks. The sot is in the second answer, right? Yeah. Thanks. That works. Of course. Yeah. Cheers.
God. Good morning. Yes, we are all hovering here, tons of media, because the US President will arrive at Chequers, the Prime Minister's country home, later this morning. Of course, he had the most incredible time, didn't he, at Windsor? Those photographs of him stood beaming from ear to ear with the King and the Queen, and him saying that it was truly one of the highest honours of his life. So all that to put him in the best possible mood for conversations here, talks about trade. The government very keen to trumpet this £150 billion of US investment coming our way, lots of it to do with AI. Of course, we don't know what we're going to have to give in return for that yet. Also, of course, the thorny issue of steel and aluminium tariffs. We expected those to have gone by now. It was announced months ago. They're still at 25%. They seem to be stuck there, but Donald Trump did say, but just before he got on the plane the other day, I'm into helping them. So they will be hoping. Number 10 have just told me there are still negotiations ongoing about those. Also, they'll be talking about Ukraine and Gaza. They would like, the government would like much more movement from Donald Trump on those. And then, of course, there will be the press conference, and I think that really is the moment of peril for the Prime Minister. He's had a very, very rocky couple of weeks. He will want it to go well, but Donald Trump, let's face it, loves the cameras, loves to freewheel. You do not know what he's going to say. And there's a couple of things that I think could prove very tricky. Free speech is one of them. MAGA seems to be very concerned about free speech in this country. That could be tricky. And also, of course, the E word. Jeffrey Epstein. Only last week, the Prime Minister was forced to sack our US Ambassador Peter Mandelson over his links to Epstein. There's also awkward questions for Trump that he does not want to answer. I think it's a dead cert that will be raised, so that could be very difficult this afternoon. We will have a snap analysis of the state visit on our GB News newsletter. To get that, just scan the QR code on screen or go to gbnews.com/news-newsletter.
As you say, a 25-year-old Eritrean man has managed to block his removal at least for 14 days so that he can provide evidence that he is, as he claims, a victim of modern-day slavery. A little earlier on this programme, we asked James Murray, who is the Chief Secretary to the Treasury, about this. Well, the government has intimated strongly that they planned all week to get flights taking off for France. That clearly hasn't happened so far. They will hope that this appeal gets fast-tracked and this particular Eritrean man can be sent to France. But more generally, this has become a test, I think, of the government's competence on such a fraught issue, which of course bedeviled their Conservative predecessors. And are those flights going to take off this week? Well, the government still says so. It's Thursday. Cheers. Thanks. I'm assuming I'm not wanted by the child because all the way through that, quite distressing, the piano was playing a clip from my 7th hit. No, I wasn't hearing it. No, I just mean I could see my own mug down there.
Have you got a picture on this?
Thanks very much.
Black balance. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Thank you. Cool. So, same at 9, yeah?
Yeah.
Lovely, thank you. I hope there might be some breakfast. Why don't you do that? What is something any pizza?
Hello again, Nick. Should I say hello again? Can I say hello again? Hello again, no. Yeah, that's right. So, a former Labour councillor has been charged with blackmail and 5 communication offences in relation to a total of 85 victims working within politics in connection to the Westminster Underground. Oliver Stedman, he's the former councillor I was just talking about. He's 28, he's been charged with 1 count of blackmail in relation to alleged unwarranted demands today's charges. Yesterday. So yesterday's charges come after the so-called Fiscal men aged between 18 to 40 years old, some aged between 18 to 40, in and around. Received unsolicited citations, sometimes planned, sometimes a woman. The messages often claimed that this person, which I would have met the person they were messaging before intended it. In some cases, after the person began.
Callum, you've been messaging Caroline pictures? Yeah, I know. Spy. know, it's so nice. Does my hair look less insane? I am. It's so hot. It's so windy. But does it look like it's sort of flying all over the place again?
Yes.
No, it's a legally contentious lie. If I fuck up, I could ruin entire court case. So, doing it straight. No pressure. Thanks.
Like that? I mean, I can't get you.
Okay. Well, I've got nowhere to go anyway, so I'll just leave it.
I've spotted any of my colleagues yet, but Robert Peston is going to go. I'm sure he'll be able to sell you a lot more.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm like the
Should we film my social media afterwards? I don't know what to say. Do you go back with me? It's like supposed to be behind the scenes Chequers, but obviously I don't think it's really. Yeah, yeah. minute and a half, 90 seconds. I can make it shorter if you want. Morning again, Nick. That's right. So a former Labour councillor, as you say, has been charged with blackmail and communications offence in relation to a total of 5 victims working within politics in connection to the Westminster honey trap case. So the former Labour councillor's name is Oliver Steadman. He's 28 years old and he's been charged with £1 of blackmail in relation to alleged unwarranted demands for the telephone numbers of up to 12 individuals. And he faces 4 further communications offences charges in relation to 4 other victims relating to the sending of alleged unsolicited indecent images. So this charge has come after the Westminster honey trap scandal, where some men aged between 18 and 40 years old in and around British politics received unsolicited, flirtatious messages from 2 members, purporting to be someone called Abby or someone called Charlie. The messages often pretended that Abby or Charlie had met the person they were messaging before, and in some cases, after the person replied, they would then receive a sexually explicit photo, and then in some cases, those people reciprocated those photos. The then Conservative MP, William Bragg, he resigned the party list in April 2024 after saying he'd given the phone numbers of fellow MPs for a man he met on a dating app. So, Mr Steadman was a Labour councillor. He resigned in May of last year, a month after his revelations came to light. He's also suspended as a Labour member after the party was notified of his arrest in June 2024. And he is set to appear at Westminster Magistrates Court on Monday, the 3rd of November for a first hearing. Yes, Nick, that is correct. Yes, last year. Very good moment, Nick.
Yeah, very well.
So, yeah. Not stiff and all him back over there straight away.
Yeah, exactly.
Look. The beast isn't actually there. It's just like, you know, support vehicles. like the bag, mate, take up 2 seats. You know, but I just the road otherwise.
Gary, obviously we didn't come in, I did over.
Right. What are you doing?
Yeah. So yeah, I just one round there. Cameras right, the lighting up here.
Sorry?
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to sit there, I was thought, guys, I stand still. I'm not ECM in there.
Well, there are 2 ECMs there.
Oh, the bag. Oh.
So the reason wildlife and also since taking away fly. Okay. So you could since use it like a little bit better. My understanding is wildlife and not food, so we don't need to worry too early. Okay. The plan was the wildlife is all the same, but they don't seem to do it. So you use whatever might be best to do.
Probably put ECMs on them, to be honest. Unless it's going to get really silly busy. Morning, John. You all right?
Yeah, how are you?
Well.
There's only one set of calls coming in here. Oh no, there's 2 now. They're one.
Okay, one thing to the other. Yeah, they're headset into ECM, so to the bag.
Yeah.
Are you using them or are you? No, you've got some. Yeah, that same as mine. I'm hoping Gary does, yes.
Are you doing Gary?
Yes.
Well done. What would your operation be?
Unless I stand on those penny cases like here, so he knows if he goes back, it's very cool, maybe. Good idea.
Yeah, I've got down the line off.
No, and there wasn't one on it either.
Put that like that. They ain't going to get no tea, so they can't have it. They ain't got to work. He's not here yet.
Three bags is there. You can put it off the radio mic to put off the radio perhaps. I think it's the same.
We've got this.
Yeah, no, that needs to go over the bigger fluffy so it won't. That might go back. No, neither case had any. That one there, that was it. We'll have to take off the radio mic from yeah. Yeah, I just do that on the headset then really. Sorted. That's the morning bit. Is it or? Just an extra every hour for new belt.
Yeah, no, it's just what we're doing. Usually you're not allowed
Thank you, Chris.
and I don't think you're going to get sick.
Yeah, got his.
So you want? Grab that one.
Yeah, currently there's 2 mics over here, both of them. Take one off there.
Only one, yeah, you say one right now. So I'm not expecting guests just yet. But well, it's very, very, very. Yeah, it's a loose amount. All right, I'll just have it facing out.
There's a tiny bit of gap you put around it. Perhaps you'll get might show it.
I'll risk it. I'll just point it
It
up.
will be mean that people get nervous about it.
I'll try and see what plugs on it.
Thanks.
It's not out of
Stay in the hotel?
No, I drove from home this morning. Yeah, it's kind of a different hotel. A little bit nicer. I've got that kit that way. It's streaming all day long, so I kind of need to not to bring the kit in. Drive with us all the way here. Well, hey, nice to see you. You too, mate, you too. You've been at Windsor yesterday? Is it all...
No Windsor.
Oh.
How about you? Were you there?
No, my first day on shift today, so I'm just driving for today. No, I'm missing them. I'm doing nights. I'm missing all my weekends taking nights at the moment, so... I did 1 or 2. I did all 3 last year, so by the last one it was a lot. It was almost overkill for me. Yeah.
Yeah, you were the early cameras, right?
Yeah, I was. So go nice.
Oh, you didn't tell me at the time. You've got a year's amnesty now.
Now it's close access, isn't it?
Oh, you've got a little table, that's a good idea, love that. It worked. Oh my god. I've seen aerial photographs of from that side, the orange room. Sorry, okay, sorry.
I know, it's so nice. Well, that's what I was saying earlier. Hello, Dave. Nice to see you. How are you doing? No worries.
Just there, sorry.
Too much.
Come over, sorry. Which year is right?
James, just to let you know, so we're quite close.
Yeah.
We might be a bit loud, so just make sure that you can hear properly
Okay,
and all
right,
of
yeah.
that, okay?
No, yeah.
We talked to Minster Priest. So down to
Hello. Yeah, very well, thanks.
Hi, yeah, I can hear you, yeah. Cool, thank you. Okay. Great, thank you. Yeah. Oh, yes, yes.
Just noticed there's a whole second building down there. That's what I mean, like a sort of wing.
Yeah, it's like kind of orangery or something.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you. Sure. Great, thanks.
So Keir Starmer will welcome President Trump here to Chequers as the royal bonanza is followed by serious talks on trade and foreign policy.
Good morning. We are right that today is going to be about the £150 billion of investment coming from the US to the UK as part of the deal and part of the work the Prime Minister has been leading with the US. And I think it's really important to emphasise what a big package of investment this is. It's a real vote of confidence in the UK economy and in our country, and it will make a real difference to people's lives by creating jobs in different parts of the UK and making people better off. Can I give you one example of the kind of thing we're going to be investing in? There's a US company called X Energy. They're going to be working with Centrica, who own British Gas, to invest in building up to 12 advanced modular reactors. That's small nuclear power reactors. Now these 12 reactors will create energy for 1.5 million homes, 2,500 jobs and add billions to the economy. So it's a really important thing. That's going to take place in Hartlepool, bringing jobs and prosperity in that local area. But there will be investments right across the UK. So we talk about big numbers, 150 billion, and it is a huge number, but it makes a real difference to people's lives. Well, look, I hope that the press conference will focus on the investment in the UK, which has been delivered as part of this state visit, because there's so many. Well, look, it's up to journalists to work out what they want to ask at the press conference later, but there's so much to talk about when it comes to the deal that we've done with the US. It's not just the headline £150 billion and all the different ways in which that's going to be invested. There's also a nuclear deal to make sure we can build nuclear power quicker. There's a tech deal, which means that we can use things like AI and quantum computing more efficiently to have medical breakthroughs to help tackle cancer and create new drugs. There's so much people can ask about. It's up to journalists what they ask about later, but there's a lot to talk about in terms of what we've achieved with the US this week.
James thinks because you're going to be the last pick.
So some of this investment will happen almost immediately. Some of them are ready to go, in the coming weeks and months. Others will be over the next 10 years because we're talking about obviously sizable investments here in long-term projects. So it depends on which individual project exactly when the investment is delivered. But what we know as a government is that a lot of families across the country are finding things tough right now, which is why, whilst at the same time as securing this investment and putting our economy in a better place, we are also taking action right now, boosting the national living wage, extending the £3 bus fare cap, extending free school meals for more children. All of that can help people now, but what we need to do over the medium and long term is to get the economy in a better place, which is why this investment in our infrastructure, in our jobs, in our local communities is so important. Well, look, it's intensely frustrating,
Exactly right,
and I know that the Home Secretary has expressed quite how frustrated she is at this, and we all are as government ministers frustrated by this last-minute attempt to thwart what we were trying to do to stop people being deported. We're determined for the deportations to begin imminently. The Home Secretary has explained how she will be standing up for the British public's interest in court and fighting this every step of the way, because we want these deportations to go ahead imminently, and that's what she will be pushing for to make sure that happens.
But also on foreign policy, where perhaps there will be a bit more tension, certainly on Ukraine, but also on the Middle East, where the UK is likely to recognise a Palestinian state in the next few days. That is something Donald Trump does not think the UK should do. Did he say so at the press conference? Well, it just kind of
there's been a huge amount of work over the last year when the former Home Secretary was in her position, whether that's getting the Borders Bill, getting that introduced in Parliament and beginning to take that through and get that into law, whether that's closing hotels for asylum seekers, whether that's negotiating deals with the French and so on. We've now got Shabana Mahmood as the Home Secretary, and as you can see, she is saying, as a result of what's happened the last few days, she won't stand for it. She's intensely frustrated by it, and she's going to do everything she can to fight it every step of the way.
Deal with France for the first time, being able to send at least some people who've arrived at the school back to France. And this week there was meant to be a kind of regular drumbeat of people being removed to France on flights. Well, that hasn't happened so far. The government is appealing the High Court's decision to give at least 14 days for an Eritrean who was meant to have been sent to France yesterday to prove that he's a victim of modern slavery. And a little earlier on the programme we asked a Cabinet Minister, James Murray, about that.
Well, I think really, to be honest, what has happened in this case makes a mockery of our laws and of our country's generosity. I think, as I understand it, this individual has decided, they're a modern slave at this late stage, despite having never mentioned that before. And as I say, it's a mockery of our legislation on modern slavery, which is important legislation. But what this person's done doesn't take that seriously, and that's why the Home Secretary is so determined to take this head on and make sure these deportations can go ahead.
Sorry about that, James. I know it's really hard when you're talking. No, I will be in a second, but it was just congratulations on the team. I was talking about what you said on the records earlier. As we heard, Frederick James Murray should have said he's over there.
Yes, I have. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, sorry, yeah.
That's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. So lovely to see you, and have a lovely, lovely day.
Thank you.
It's not a PA thing.
It's not PA. It's the BBC.
Well, it is like how it works.
No, we're.
I tried to speak a bit more quietly while James was doing it.
We're just,
But you know how it works.
jammed together. Sorry.
Henry, I think you should just come into the light.
Can't really mute the state broadcaster.
That was all right, guys.
Huh?
That wasn't bad. The LBC was a problem.
I'll head over to
Yeah, that's just probably hang out there. Send me those things that arrive.
Yeah.
Well, the government incredibly happy with this £150 billion investment by US companies coming our way over the next few years. A lot of that in artificial intelligence. Of course, what we don't know is what we are going to have to give in return. But the government say that this is a big win. It's a record-breaking sum of money. But look, the whole purpose of this state visit, the pomp, the pageantry yesterday, is to put Donald Trump into the best possible mood, the best frame of mind to give us a deal, basically, a better deal than we have already. Now, we've already got a better deal than everybody else. The government will be happy to say that over and over again. But of course, the tariffs that Trump is so fond of have made life much harder for us, and particularly in regards to steel. Now, other countries are paying 50%, we're only paying 25%, but we were told that that was going to go down to 0 4 months ago, and it still hasn't happened. Now, Number 10 have told me this morning that those negotiations are still ongoing, and the Prime Minister will meet the President. He will arrive by helicopter, and there will be trade meetings also with investors, and the Chancellor will be here too. And then there will be that big press conference, which could be very perilous for both of them, with some potentially very awkward questions coming, maybe over free speech, maybe over Russia-Ukraine, almost certainly over Jeffrey Epstein, a topic that neither the President or the Prime Minister wants to talk about, but I think almost certainly they're going to have to.
Starmer are almost certain to formally recognise a Palestinian state in the next few days. President Trump doesn't think that they should do so. Whether he will say that in private or in public, I don't think we know, but that was clearly a point of tension.
If they're going to tell...
Yes, definitely, on the part of Downing Street. I mean, they've seen Donald Trump over the past decade in the same way that we have, so they'd be mad not to be concerned. They will hope that President Trump, as he certainly was yesterday, will be on sort of dignified and restrained form, but who knows? And there are areas of sensitivity. Obviously, the tensions between the two leaders, as I mentioned, on policy areas there. There's also, of course, the matter of Jeffrey Epstein. It is still only a week since Lord Mandelson was sacked as the UK ambassador to the US over new disclosures about the depth of his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Well, President Trump is facing his own controversy in the US over his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, albeit prior to his convictions. So it would be a shock to me if at least one journalist would not bring that subject up. How Donald Trump might respond, well, it would be a fool's errand to predict that. Cheers. Right, I'm back in about 20 minutes. Maybe before 5 live, but they're putting it on the telly. Gary, right. Or shall I leave my earpiece stuff on the thing? Yeah, right. I agree. About 20 minutes. Yeah. No worries. Thanks for telling me. But yeah, see you in 10 minutes.
None too shabby, Henry. Henry, before you go back, what time are you staying until then?
I'm staying till the end of the press.
Right. So, as we were just figuring, are you going to do it for them 1,800 right? Oh, don't worry, I'm all good. Okay. All right. So I'm going at 5:30. So you'll stay.
I've got everything else.
So we got this tough price operation, which is I'm going to get another box.
Well, I mean, it's for
I'll get you.
I'll get told off from walking over there, mate. So, what's up?
Well, it's never stopped us before, has it? Yeah.
Return a favour.
Absolutely. Yeah. Correspondent reporting down. Thank you.
Yeah, which again makes me think it's more editorial music. Start the show.
Good.
Try it. I know it's big enough. I think it's a bit. I just think kind of 4/6 really is manually dialed it into the 56 and it's a lot better. Try it. Manually dial it. Plug it. 4/9 still.
Right, road.
That's the number, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I wound mine up. Yeah, so probably that's probably about right with this stuff. It's just here and put it down. Alright, I might just turn it fine up there.
They're not speakers, they're actually journos, so it's not PA. It's like, so I don't know if you see the output, mate. So we get like a metre each. So BBC, what happens normally, mate, and on Sky years ago, you always get who would go first and leave a gap.
The longer you're at 12:30, that's cool. But if they're not, yeah, well, that's the. It can't.
I was off yesterday. Yeah, so well rested. Yeah, just on this. Ben's got the fun one.
No, this is yours. Actually, Alex.
I just think, yeah, we changed.
It's not like smart dress. Like that means suit.
John might be here. And they don't dress. No, they might be here for one.
Glad I brought the coat.
Thank you.
They don't get anyone. At least you get a 12:30.
So I did turn that unit on, didn't I? I can't remember if I did or not. Can you hear anything?
Yes, I can hear.
Yeah. I'm here at Chequers, which is behind me, where I need to do the Prime Minister's Day. So I will post that up.
No. I think that was what I said about staying out.
I have. Daryl, thank you.
I'm at Chequers, which is right behind me. I'll talk to the Prime Minister's Day about some of the really important issues that came out of the meeting with the US President. I'll post those when I have them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm up here at Chequers.
Oh,
I'm here at Chequers for the visit of US President Donald
Yes,
Trump.
thank
where
you.
I'll talk to the Prime Minister later about some of the issues that they discussed in that building.
I have, thank you, yes. Thank you.
So if you can get level 45, one of the things that I can't.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's too confusing for the past 60s. Let me just, that sounds good out. reality is, I just need 2 camera positions. No, we both asked after
Yes, the President had all the pleasure of that Windsor state visit yesterday. Now down to business here at Chequers, talking about trade, about foreign policy, and of course there's going to be that press conference this afternoon where pretty much anything might happen. Rebecca?
Yes.
You don't have a Bloomberg sub, have you?
No, I can get it probably on the computer.
Because they're basically saying that Trump is. It sounds like they'd be happy to have Karen Pierce back, which begs the question: why on earth did Starmer get rid of Karen Pierce in the first place?
I can check it for.
I mean, I can say. It's saying that Trump is phoning them, which I can't say because I haven't seen it. But the noises from Washington are indicating, being reported.
Hold it for this head, and when we check it, we can say the next.
Well, we'll see.
Also QR.
I'll try. Depends if they're going rap, rap, rap in my ear. I'll try. I didn't say it. But, you know, they need to put the QR code up if I'm going to say it and they don't put it up, then, you know, it's a total waste of time.
Have you ever seen a hair clip?
Okay, thank you.
No, that's the style. It won't.
Sorry.
We spent too much time on it. No, I'm just saying.
Shadows in the background. Yeah.
Hi, how are you? I'm alright, thanks. For sure. Yes. Sounds good. Great.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, of course. Thanks so much.
Sorry?
They should have took you first, because now you're clash with BBC. About Dean on the phone too. Oh, I don't get it. It's like,
Dean said what?
Dean said to me.
Can't do anything about it. Sorry?
They should have took you first, because now you're going to clash with BBC. About Dean on the phone too. Oh, I don't get it. It's like,
Dean said what?
Dean said to me.
Can't do anything about it.
That's all right.
Hi, Nikki.
I said to the desk back yesterday.
Well, it's the latter one which definitely made Melania surprising to me. I don't know. That's the answer, I'm afraid. On the seating plan, by the way, he was sitting next to Tweed, who's the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff, and increasing focus on controversy within the Labour Party for his political government and the way that things are going with the Prime Minister. Anyway, I don't know. It's the straightforward and honest answer to your initial question. Well, today is the sort of political day of the state visit. So yesterday was the pageantry and the royals, and let's face it, Donald Trump's been pretty clear that's the bit of the visit that he was most excited for. Today is the more substantive element of things. So if you think of the state visit overall as the UK trying to solidify its warm relationship with the US, I think today is Keir Starmer trying to solidify his warm relationship with President Trump.
No, you absolutely can't. And for all the incredible planning, and I think everyone is agreed that yesterday really couldn't have gone any better, apart from maybe the weather. This afternoon's press conference, I think, is definitely going to be a moment of peril. But let me just run through briefly what we're expecting before that. So, the President will arrive later this morning on Marine Force One, the helicopter. The Prime Minister and his wife came over last night following that state banquet. The Prime Minister will then show the President the Sir Winston Churchill archives, which are kept here at Chequers in Buckinghamshire. We know how much he loves having that bust of Winston Churchill back in the Oval Office. There will also be a Red Devils display. That is the British Parachute Regiment display team. So we had the Red Arrows yesterday, the Red Devils today. Coming back to me or not?
Maybe, but there'll definitely be
The lost sound.
not least from the
Are they going to come back to me?
because Sir Keir Starmer hasn't taken the questions about it.
Oh, they're not coming back to me. Okay, all right, thanks.
This is worth reflecting on.
I don't know what happened then. Sound
Prime
won't.
Minister stood up in his back to the House of Commons and after repeated questioning from many days after the Labour Party leader was adamant that he has full confidence in Peter Mandelson remaining ambassador to the US. It's only a week since the Prime Minister then reversed course and sacked Lord Mandelson as ambassador to the US. And still really basic, very brief questions about why he's knowing some degree of association with Jack after his initial
But he's coming by helicopter, so he'll land somewhere, but you don't get shot. So he will fly by chance. And it's still about 10 to 11. So I should spot up on the place now. In case I have to send off the stats and
Now look, I think it's easy to imagine that if Donald Trump were coming here to the UK today, none of this investment would be happening. Obviously that's not how these companies think about investment decisions. But it is clearly a big deal and one that the UK government will want to Trump in. I'm sure we'll hear a lot from Keir Starmer about that. I think the other thing that will come up, both in meetings and then in the press conference, is foreign policy, which is where the UK and the US aren't necessarily that aligned. Strength of the friendship and all of that. And on Ukraine is familiar to us now, but Keir Starmer and various Western leaders would have liked Donald Trump to be much more staunch in Zelensky or Ukraine in general. And then when it comes to the Middle East, in the next few days, the UK is going to formally recognise the state of Palestine. President Trump does not believe the UK should do that. So will that difference of opinion erupt in the public view? Certainly hope.
And then others down here. So they're interspersed.
Yeah, just deliberate, pointed comment. Using the authority of the king and his office, and we know, because he keeps talking about it, that President Trump absolutely loves the monarchy and the royal family. So it would be great for the UK government not to try to deploy the king in the way that they have. By the way, another symbolic Ukraine-related thing worth noting is that it's a standard thing with these visits that each leader will give the other gifts. And the Prime Minister and his wife Victoria are giving Melania Trump, the First Lady, a scarf that's related to Ukrainian children. And that's interesting because President Trump has talked recently about how Melania, the First Lady, is pushing stronger against Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, I'll let you get on anyway, mate. Yeah? All right, cheers.
I'll let you know, yeah. It's going.
Yeah, you just have a look at the line and cheers first, mate. So internet, where
They have the internet.
right, so they so now I've got Arsenal on the other end, going up there, but the strike is, so I've asked them to get driving centre, and it turns to, but I think they've capped it, which means basically
They always cover that there and they need to uncover
they
it.
don't have nothing. There's nothing is happening like
No, exactly, because they do it over there so many times, the MCR. So have a fight with them about uncover.
I wouldn't do it.
I've got one of those. But you can't look at the I don't know, is it alright? If it's the
long sleeve wrap with a very light pink jacket and the
But you saw 18 degrees.
came down to there. And then I thought 18 degrees actually quite good. I didn't actually agree because I always repeated like I don't think so. But Rebecca, would you do me a favour and
I need to go back.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Thank you very much. It's so helpful. Thank you.
Very quickly test it for you. Make sure it works. One's that side, one's this side. Yeah. There's one there and one here. No, it's alright.
Yes, we're waiting.
Sorry. Yeah. Will you cue me? Yeah. And you'll cue me into the headline. Thank you. Where are you?
Your right to time. Yeah, that's there. And your perfect. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
To the headline.
Sorry, good comms.
Sorry?
Good comms.
No, let's hang on a bit of on the audio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Just one.
Rebecca's got us some bags of food, one for you, one for me, one for her. So that's good. Fabulous.
And I'm Gary O'Donoghue at Chequers, where the Prime Minister will welcome the President shortly for the passing moments of this historic visit. More on BBC News during the day. Lovely.
Hi, James. Okay, fine, fine. Okay, so you'll stay on camera and to get the picture. Yeah, you can. Just, that's fine. Do you want to come to me now, very shortly? That's fine. Yeah, that's no problem. Right, thank you. Yes, the Donald Trump had all the pleasure yesterday of the pomp, the pageantry, Windsor Castle, the royal family, and today it's business, it's politics. The sense of anticipation here is quite incredible. I got here at 5 o'clock in the pitch dark. Now there are hordes of press, there's a lot of people with earpieces walking around, a load of Americans and big cars toing and froing as well, because this is really what it's all about. Yesterday was about getting Donald Trump in the best possible mood, making him feel as kindly disposed towards Britain as possible. The royals did an incredible job. Nobody does it better, really, do they? And of course we know that Trump loves the royal family, loves the late Queen in particular, and regards the King as a good friend. Now the Prime Minister, quite strangely, given how different they are, seems to have also struck up a very good working relationship with him. He arrived here last night after the state banquet to get ready, and we're expecting the President in the next hour or so to get here. He will be greeted, then the Prime Minister will show him the Winston Churchill archives which are kept here. There will be a Red Devils display. They are the British Parachute Regiment display team. So yesterday we had the Red Arrows, the Red Devils today. Then President Trump and the Prime Minister will have a bilateral meeting, just the two of them, and then there will be the Chancellor of the Exchequer will host a business reception with a lot of those big US investors. Of course, the government very keen to trumpet this £150 billion of inward investment from the United States into Britain over the next few years, which the government says are going to bring 7,500 high-quality jobs across the country. And of course, trade. We are still stuck currently, aren't we, with 25% tariffs on steel, on aluminium, something that we were told 4 months ago was going to go, but they are still there. The President the other day, before he got on the plane, said, I'm into helping them about the British, so let's see if we have any movement on that. It didn't sound like that was going to come. Also, of course, Ukraine will be under discussion. The government would dearly love for Donald Trump to make good on some of the occasional threats he makes towards Putin and actually do something to punish him. Also, Gaza, a very difficult situation, and we know that the government is likely to recognise Palestine in the coming days, something that will not go down well with the US. But the press conference, I think, could be exceedingly awkward this afternoon. Back in 2019, when it was Theresa May was here, it was quite embarrassing. Donald Trump freewheels. You never know what he's going to say. He loves the television. He loves the cameras. He backed Boris Johnson for the next PM. He said that Sadiq Khan was a stone cold loser. And I think the situation now even more awkward because we've got a Prime Minister down on his luck, fighting battles within his own party, all these scandals, and of course top of the list of things that journalists are bound to want to mention is Jeffrey Epstein, the E word, the word that the royal family doesn't want to mention, Donald Trump doesn't want to have mentioned, the Prime Minister doesn't want to have mentioned either, because only last week he ended up sacking the US ambassador Peter Mandelson over his links to Jeffrey Epstein. So I think the press conference, I think there'll be a lot of anxiety about just how that is going to go. Thank you. Oh, okay. Thank you for just staying here.
We do. This is not purely business today. There's going to be a bit of entertainment as well, with some
parachutists appearing from the skies to bring some glitz to the occasion. But there's going to be some serious business as well. There's going to be a lunch, a meeting with business leaders, some key business leaders, talking about that investment that you mentioned there, talking about the trade opportunities, these eye-watering amounts of money that the government here is talking about coming this way in terms of investment. And then, of course, they will also discuss it.
Yeah.
Power supply.
I thought he was flying and then just being... Are we absolutely certain that he's being driven? Because we thought he was landing over there and... Sorry?
Lands there. That's why we're all lining up to get him landing.
Yeah, but now they're talking about him driving.
You've got to drive to the helicopter at the other end.
Well, no. They would have just landed in Windsor, wouldn't they? Like they did yesterday.
In the park, so we have to drive to Windsor Park, take off, fly here.
Is that what happened yesterday?
I think that's what they do. There's two pieces, so there's one here and one there.
Okay. Alright.